alive, alive.
Gotta be hard on me now to know the truth. A bit confused, but there's a bunch of us out in the world who's just like me, not into you. Same, you think you could deal, you know nothing there. I want something real, not the custom made. I'll buy you a drink, keep you company. I'm sorry, that's all it will be. My fault, my bad. The word's out, but you weren't ready for it. But
Let's go. Let's go.
You're always on your game during work time. Now, take the work out of game time. And creating your best edit requires time to make the right cuts. So, we help cut render times. Get the processing power to do it all. Join the gamers and creators who know the pure speed of AMD Ryzen processors. Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen.
Welcome back, everyone. You are watching AMD Presents Streamer Quest with Windows 11 and Xbox Game Pass. This is the Forza Horizon weekend. I'm CCV John alongside Zataxter, and we are bringing to you 2 days of insane Forza Horizon 5 action showcasing all teams and 2 members each of those teams participating in various races in various conditions, all playing for the same prize that the Streamer Quest presents, which is 5 lakh rupees to the winning team of all 10 streamers in it. And again, since they're streamers, they're streaming on their personal channels as well. They have been right from day one, right from when we started. We have gone through golf. We have seen Halo as well. Age of Empires also happened. And now with all that being said and done, we move on to another game in Zatax, to you being the Forza mastermind. Having a look at the schedule as well. Does this excite you? And apart from Forza, is there any other game that you're also looking forward to in the ones that we have remaining?
Yeah, like always, I'm at the edge of my seat, and I just want to mention at the end of the second day, everyone's going to be hoping for more days of Forza, as they always do. But you bring up which other game I'm actually interested to watch out for. Definitely Minecraft. I see it scheduled a bit later on this month. I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be amusing, as well as people getting a bit more competitive. I think it's very ingrained in each gamer that Minecraft stands out. So looking forward to that one. But before all that, today and tomorrow is going to be banger as always. Forza Horizon.
Oh, certainly so. And once more, just like Halo Infinite, this is going to be an entire weekend long saga. Usually, with other games, within a day, we get to know which team is going to come out on top. Not going to be the case. As we saw with Halo Infinite, obviously, that weekend featured double points. Forza is going to be featuring regular points only. The winning team will be getting 5 points. The team that comes second is going to get 3. And the team that finishes at the bottom will be getting a single point for them. However, still, because of the fact that we saw so many twists and turns in the Halo weekend, and we saw a team missing out by just 22 points overall in the 1840s and all that points that they had, they missed out by a mere 22 points. It makes me think that in Forza, with multiple people being there, with multiple positions that can be gained and lost in each one of the races, and we're going to have multiple races over the course of this weekend, it really makes you wonder, what is going to be the differentiating factor? What is going to be the margin? Are there going to be streamers? Are there going to be players who just stand out way above the top and they are going to be finishing first every single time? Or is it going to be close competition? Because again, they're streamers. They're not competitive players. They don't always grind out a single game. What they grind out is entertainment for all of their fans. And keeping that in mind, that is why at the end of the day, we have such a wide array of games here at the Streamer Quest, so that any and every single view of those streamers, and here the Esports Club as well, you can have something to enjoy. And for all the racing fans, we have it covered.
Definitely. And you talk about close competition, right? We've seen how close it's been in the points, as you mentioned. We're going to see an equally close finish at the line in each one of the races that are to come. But here we have the campaign standing. CCV,
Oh
you can take it away.
my God. Starting off right from the left, Team Alpha, yeah, they're not having the best of times. Their start was a bit poor, but however, they can turn it around. They have enough time. We are only through 50% of our streamer quest. And so far, they are in a bit of contention. However, they have to start winning. For Team Alpha, If they lose out in Forza, then Overcooked in Minecraft, there won't be a lot of chances for them to win. Team Bravo, the giants who were in the lead, the winners of Halo Infinite, getting 10 points, lost a big chunk of that lead as soon as it was time for Age of Empires 4. And that's when Team Charlie, the mid table team, the team with consistent performances in golf, they were second. In Halo, they were second. In Age of Empires, they took the win. And now they are only trailing by 2 points. And keep in mind, Daxter, here
Hmm.
for Forza Horizon, the team that wins gets 5 points. The team that finishes second, guess what? They get three. That's the difference of 2 points. So, Team Charlie, all they need to do is win. Even if Team Bravo gets the next best position, which is second, that means that heading into Overcooked, both of the teams are going to be at equal levels. And that brings a whole new array of competition. But at the same time, you have the wild cards. You have Team Alpha. You can never forget about them. Their captain as well, he was Shrimon, he was talking about that their team, they aren't the best when it comes to FPS games. When the launch was happening of the streamer quest, he mentioned that in games such as Halo and all, their streamers don't have the most experience. However, something like Forza, a racing game, a simulation game, can be the perfect way for them to start showing their domination as well. Because just previously in the strategy that is involved in Age of Empires, they took second position. Who knows,
Hmm.
Forza may be their home ground.
Yeah, just my but it is Team Charlie's home ground. I can vouch for that. Last time around, when the Sports Club hosted the Streamer Invitational, we did see Bloodline top that off and with an impeccable performance right from the beginning. So that's the thing with Forza, which I've noticed. A bunch of these streamers, they take time to find their footing in the game before they actually start scoring points on the board in these races. Last time around, it was a bit of a different format. This time around, we see new competitors, at least for me. So I'm looking forward to see what Team Alpha and Team Bravo bring to the table.
Absolutely so. That's going to be the best thing. And we have,
Mhm.
races as well. They're going to be absolutely insane. And for the
Yeah.
streamers, they've got to make sure that, since you mentioned a couple of them, they've already played the stream invitation. And I assume the streamers in their personal time as well, whether they're streaming to their audience or just enjoying Forza, as it's a lovely game, they've been playing they have had a bit of experience. Now, much like so many of the other games we have here, the Streamer Quest, it's just going to be a matter of how well polished is your entire mindset, and how experienced are you, because there may just be a big differentiating factor in the experience, like what we saw on something like Halo, or even like golf. I mean, golf, yes, granted, it's a very casual game. I mean, it has golf with your friends in its name, so I mean, it indicates you are supposed to have fun while you play the game. Still, we saw some insane shots coming from the side of Team Bravo. But keeping all of that in mind, the best thing is we have had serious games in the form of Halo. We've had fun games as well in the form of golf. We're going to have so much more. We'll have Sea of Thieves. We even had Among Us. The best part is the genre of all of these games. All of these games feature such different mechanics, such different attitudes. So it doesn't matter who the player is. If you want something casual, we have that for you. If you want something serious, it's there here, the Streamer Quest as well. And we have such a large array of games over at the Xbox Game Pass. I mean, over hundreds of games in different genres, in different categories, in different subsections. There's a game for anyone to enjoy, all for a singular subscription price. And if you don't want to pay for Xbox Game Pass, and plus you want the best experience playing the games there, you can go down in the description, and with select laptops that feature the Ryzen 5000 series processors by AMD, you can get Xbox Game Pass for free. However, what you will guaranteed get for free is going to be entertainment in the 7 races we have today and in the 7 we have tomorrow. And this is the question I posed to you, Zadat. Are 7 races enough for a team who have gone off to like a slow start to turn it around, not just today, but tomorrow as well?
Yeah, so 7, arguably by the looks of it, I don't want to be an early judge, but definitely it should be enough. I think if they could get
Mhm.
through the likes of Halo Infinite like they did, and golf as well, as you mentioned earlier, definitely you should be able to. After all, it's a streamer quest, so if you slack,
Yeah.
you're gonna lose, rightfully so. And mind you, 7 races with the terrain being unknown, so that's the swinger of it all. So yeah, we'll eventually find out, of course. But again, like I mentioned, Bloodline is my pick to excel at this event, at this game.
Okay. All right. So you're suggesting that again, Bloodline, because of him, he may be able to carry the force of Team Charlie if the need be. And again, it may fall into something similar, right? Where even if you have a person who's really talented and who's really capable of winning the races, their teammate may not be of the same caliber. And because of that, you may just have a team that finishes somewhere average. That, to an extent, has been the problem plaguing the side of Team Charlie for so many of these games. Usually, it's a bit of inconsistency from all of their players. Sometimes some of them can't perform as well. Golf, it happened. Halo, it happened. Age of Empires, though, they won that. So, Team Charlie, they are so close to victory. But on the opposition, you have someone like Team Bravo who either go big or they go home. Either they're going to win the events, which has happened, or they're going to be at the bottom, which has also happened in the case of Age of Empires 4. So you have two very different play styles. And then obviously you have the wild card in the form of Team Alpha as well. So today, all of those dynamics are going to shape up in a very interesting manner with how these teams want to play as well. And, having a look at the cars as well, whether they're going to be logged or not, is there going to be a free choice? Thinking about the fact that you have just an entirely open terrain, do you think, I this is a very basic question, but should someone or should a streamer go for like a well balanced car with the brakes being fine, with the acceleration, being good as well? Or should they be focusing on a bit more downforce, however, a less speed? Or like where should the balance of the car lie if you don't know where you're going to be racing?
Yeah, with that question, if anything sets precedent, it's our last event. But let's stick to this one, and I'm going to say um, definitely a well balanced car for a terrain that has a mix of asphalt as well as dirt. But if you're gonna go, if they know, clearly they don't. But if second they figure out that it is a dirt terrain, you definitely have to go the Hoonigan route. So those of you familiar with playing Forza Horizon will definitely know which car that is, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get to see the Hoonigan at one of these races.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure, I'm excited for them. But yeah, let's hope that all the information you're giving the streamers abide by that as well. Otherwise, it's going to be sheer luck for them or pure disaster if they pick the wrong car. Because granted, if you don't go off to an amazing start, you're going to be catching up. And I don't just mean that in the race itself, you will be catching up. Yes, you will. But overall, in the points, you will. Because there is a big point margin. We start off, there are going to be 6 players in every single race, every single day. Keeping that in mind, the player finishing on top, with 10 points, that gives him such a huge lead. And then immediately it drops down to 7, then so on and so forth. So, keeping that in mind, you really want to go off from the best of starts and really maneuver your way as you would in any racing game. But here, you have to be careful because all of these streamers, they are playing for a prize pool of 5 lakh rupees. And the thing is, the winning team is going to be the only team that gets it. There is no distribution. 5 lakh rupees are going to be split among the 10 streamers that are there. The losing 20 streamers, they get nothing except for, well, the entertainment they've been providing and tons of fun. But hey, at the end of the day, it's all about glory, entertainment, and the cash.
Yep. Everyone here is out there for the win. Soon enough, we'll find out 7 different winners, perhaps, at the wild chance. That's not even possible with the permutations and combinations. But um, we will see 6 different winners. Hopefully, each one of these guys from each team get across the
Right.
finish line first. Highly unlikely, mind you. They'll have to improvise race on race. Hopefully, getting into race 1, we will see some wheel to wheel action, which most of us petrol heads long for.
Oh, certainly so. And it makes me think that is there going to be, well, I mean, my first question is, here the Esports Club as well, like you've mentioned, we had the streamer invitational for Forza Horizon 5. Were there any streamers that had, like a major path of improvement who didn't start off to the best of like starts and, were finishing like relatively to the bottom of the table and then they improved? And is something like that possible?
Yeah, that's definitely possible. If my memory serves me right, the likes of Hydra Flick was one of them. He had a bit of a rough start and
Mhm.
eventually got up the order and of course finished in the top 3. We saw him do a cheeky thing with the terrain with respect to terrain. He brought out the SP Monza on a
Oh.
dirt terrain as well, which was a bit of mix with the asphalt as well. So yeah, didn't clearly go his way. Unfortunate there for him. But yeah, the one guy who stood out, I already brought this up, Bloodline, but definitely, as you brought it up, it is possible if they can find their footing in race 1, and if they can get that momentum built up by race 2, by race 7 they can be on top of the board.
Absolutely so. And that's essentially what you need heading into the second day as well. You don't just need your self-confidence that you have, like knowing like, oh, I can win these races. I have won these races and I may just do it again. You also need the support of your teammate. For every single team, there are going to be two players playing as well. And as we all know, for so many, well, real life sports as well, that include racing, you have oftentimes teammates. And usually, yes, the teammates, there is a lot of inter-team rivalry. There's going to be here for the side of the streamers as well. But at the end of the day, with the prize that we have, keeping in mind that only a single team is going to play, how important do you think something like, inter-team coordination or like communication is with your teammate?
Yeah, David, goes without saying, if you have that liberty to be able to communicate with your teammate, especially in
Mhm.
a race, it'll offer a lot. Considering if you and your teammate were running 1 and 2, and someone real quick's coming up in third, you can play some cheeky games there and ensure that it is at least a first finish for the team, while
Mhm.
the second driver finishes third at least. So yeah, we'll hopefully get to see that at its right. I was actually going to mention, hopefully we get to see a few of those photo finishes we saw last time around, wheel to wheel, side
Oh.
by side to the line. That's what I look forward for more than anything else. It gets me off my chair, it gets me all pumped. I'm sure folks in the audience can relate to it as well.
Absolutely. So now we've talked so much about Forza Horizon. You know what's that? I think it's time.
Yeah,
Don't you agree? I
yeah.
think we need to jump into the game as well. And already, well, here's your favorite streamer right now. You've got Bloodline in front of us, and we will be starting off with the first race.
Yeah, is the Corvette. So, mind you, while I did say Bloodline is the one poised to possibly win this entire event, I would love the likes of Team Alpha and Team Bravo to wipe that smile off my face, and possibly Bloodlines as well, if he's aware that today might just be his day. But as it stands, Bloodline puts himself up in a P2 already, and he's crossed P1, and now he leads
Oh.
the race.
All right, so seeing how collision is off, obviously, Zatak, you have far more racing simulation experience than I do. And but everyone can agree, yeah, collisions being on, they make your reaction time, like you have to be a lot more careful with how you're driving. But right now, someone like Bloodline or essentially anyone, even the people in second, like Armpa, then SMX, Evil, all of them just have to focus on their racing and don't really have to that much, care about the other streamers that are going to be
Nope.
there. Oh, wait. Collision seems to be on for a couple of the members. Here we have Armpa right now, who is looking to take the lead.
Yeah, just at the start it seemed like it was off, but as you mentioned, collisions being on now puts in the swinger
Oh.
that it could possibly mean that you got to be aware of your surroundings, rightfully so. If collision
Right.
is on, you'd expect someone who's trying to find their footing being a little more reckless, going into a corner, slamming onto the brakes too late and missing a checkpoint
Oh.
possibly. And as I say, the Ampa gets rammed into a barricade of sorts by the likes of Bloodline, who conveniently picks off the race lead.
Well, exactly what you were saying. It's going to be wheel to wheel action. Both these streamers right now, breaking through the corners, overshooting their acceleration a bit as well. And again, missing a couple of them. Bloodline locks up badly. So does Armpa. Both of them have to be careful. This to me feels like a case of who can make fewer mistakes rather than just pure racing. Would you agree with that? Or should the streamers just focus on trying to overtake one another?
Yeah, I agree with that on the asphalt. Throw it into dirt, and it's anyone's game at that point. But as you can see, Bloodline conveniently capitalized on that situation. Oh, yo, Ampa goes off.
Ooh.
You don't want that kind of things to happen, as he misses a checkpoint as well. And this is going to cost him ample amounts of time.
So much time. And right now we have the race leader as well, Bloodline. It is lap number 3 for him. So he has finished over 50% of the race, still in lead. Looking at the bottom of the table, you have someone like Thamim from the side of Team Charlie. And again, he's not doing the best. However, his teammate is at the top. I mean, this is exactly what we were talking about, right? That one of the teammates, he is having an excellent performance, and even if his counterpart is having a relatively poor performance, he can still cut him some slack and pull his weight.
Yeah, but finishing counts for that much more, as Meme,
Yep.
I think, got sent off track as well, off the asphalt. And leading, however, his teammate Bloodline conveniently away from the competition. Mind you, Ampao fell down all the way down to P4, and SMX seems to be a bit too far behind to catch up to Bloodline on lap number 4, ever so close to the finish now, Bloodline.
Alright, he may just be, and so far there is no competition. I mean, yeah, that costed Armpa a lot. What we were talking about, wheel-to-wheel racing has effectively turned into one set of 4 wheels, and that's going to be one Corvette only. However, we have this race going in front of us right now. It's going to be Evil up against Arm Power. And the thing is, Evil from the side of Team Alpha, he really wants his team to gain as many points as possible because in the grand scheme of things, his team isn't performing the best. However, Bloodline, he will perform as one of the best once more as he finishes first without any doubt.
Yeah, cheers and smiles on his face there as Power's fumble possibly costed him. But we did see a close battle to the race finish after all, possibly not for the win, but for second place. Power managed to make that pass. Oh no, Power ended up third. SMX ended up second. So we did get to see wheel to wheel to the line after all.
Oh, and both the cars locking up right now.
shit,
Arm by
bhai.
SMX. The thing is, both of them are in Team Bravo, so it really doesn't matter that much who finished second and third. It's just more about, I guess, the glory right now. But regardless of that, still, second and third, good overall placement for the side of Team Bravo. Now, Bloodline and the meme presenting, their side of Team Charlie. I have to say that that's interesting how it's gonna pan out for the both of them.
Yeah, definitely. And now that I got to see the competition, I can say Bloodline can have one eyeball in their rear view mirror for sure for Arm Power Gaming. Think about it. I mean, if that fumble didn't happen, mind you, Bloodline did get a little bit cheeky and it tapped the back of Arm Power Gaming as well. We got to see the glimpse of that. But definitely he's in contention to go toe to toe with the likes of Bloodline.
Certainly so. And that's the thing. It's gonna be about the starts, like we said, and without the collision being there at the start, it gives you that fair bit advantage because all you need to focus on is your own race. Then once it gets enabled, hopefully you may have pulled up a significant lead then to your rivals, which well, not always is gonna be the case. We just saw amazing wheel-to-wheel action, not just at the top in first and second, but down third and fourth as well, with what was happening between Evil and all those guys. That was also close competition. But at the same time, moving on towards the bottom of the table, you had Arrow, you had Samin not having the best of performances. And I guess then they both of them will become the people to look out for. And hopefully they can improve as well. Because Team Charlie, they have a really good chance. All it took was one mistake from Arm Power. Yes, it costed him a significant amount of time, but that meant Bloodline undisputed champion. There was no one in his sights at all, and he took an easy win in race number 1. So if Tamim can put up a couple more points, that means that Team Charlie, they're well on their way to major stake Forza Horizon.
Yeah. And you bring up the likes of Bloodline being having clear air in front. Mind you, possibly he might just fumble when he's behind a car. Obviously, with just one car ahead of him, we did see him conveniently pick off the race lead. How much of a difference it'll make when he's got a couple in front of him without collisions being off. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next couple of races. I'm looking forward for the terrain changing as well as we can see Arm Power there losing out on that race lead, having handed it almost to the likes of Bloodline early on into that race.
Yeah, so once more, Bloodline winning and then Armpa finishing second. This is once again Team Charlie up against Team Bravo, like we have seen. And then you have Evil as well finishing fourth. So it's all about the team gameplay, not just about your best performer. However, as we see in so many esports and even traditional sports, it's a team game after all. And that has been the case with every single one of the games in Streamer Quest so far. It has been a team game. That is exactly what you have to play out for. Even in golf, this was such a prominent case where it was again pairs only. Team Charlie had 2 members, Team Bravo, Team Alpha, so on and so forth. And similar situations happen then. That's why I'm bringing up golf with friends so much because obviously the games are quite different, very different objectives. However, the performances were quite similar. Halo, it was 10v10v10. Every single streamer was participating. It was just all out war. But all that once it's been said and done, it's a similar thing for Forza. You have to have like faith in your teammate that they will perform. And if they aren't, you need to speak some confidence into them, because at the end of the day, that may just be the key to success.
Yeah, definitely. And on a lighter note, think about 10v10 and Forza Horizon.
Oh,
What a swinger that would
Jesus.
be.
My God.
Yeah. Oh, either ways, race two coming up, and hopefully we've not seen the best of everyone just yet. Or
Yeah.
hopefully we see Bloodline at the back of the pack. Of course, you won't be too glad about hearing that. And it'll be difficult to keep him there. I'd like to hope. But yeah, one thing's for sure, Ampa seemed like he's out there to get position after position. He came back fighting from P4 to the line with SMX as well. Um, so yeah, I'm just looking forward to the likes of each one of these teams battling it out for position, wheel to wheel, and possibly a photo finish for the race win.
I'm going very much off topic here,
Mhm.
but being so deep into the streamer quest right now, this is our fourth esports title that we have. One of my favorite things about streamers in general is that the variety of games that they can, I wouldn't say master entirely, like esports professionals. That requires a lot of dedication, but like experience and like be experienced at them. And one of the examples is just the person you mentioned right now, SMX. We saw him and we all know him. He's been in the FPS genre here in South Asia for ages and ages. We all know his name. We've all seen his plays in various other games. Even in Halo, I was just a fan of him picking up the sniper rifle and going ham with it. There's still that one specific clip he has of him getting like multiple kills. And now, moving on over to entirely different, pun intended, terrain, you're here in Forza Horizon, a racing game. No shooting, nothing like that. And it's just about pure who can, maneuver their way through the track as beautifully as possible. And even then, he's giving consistent performances. And overall, I just enjoy that so much about the streamers. And again, one of my favorite points I'll say again, that no matter what happens, streamers are here for entertainment. And so many of the audience members, there's something for anyone to enjoy. If you're into games that require shooting and things along the lines of that, there's the racing games, you have casual games as well in the form of golf, strategy games, and then you obviously have things like Among Us, Sea of Thieves, all of that we have seen in Streamer Quest. However, coming back to Forza, coming back, it's just been one race. However, the standings are already going to be in front of us, and from what we can see, it is a very close call between Bravo and Charlie.
Mhm. Ah, rightfully so. You mentioned the team game being played, as we saw
Right?
SMX and Ampa being in the top three together counted for so much more than Bloodline just finishing the race up in front. We can see Bravo at 12 points leading it for today, ahead of the likes of Team Charlie at 10 points and Team Alpha with 5 points.
Yeah, keeping all this in mind once more, as much as Tamim underperformed, the thing is, the pressure in a way falls onto him because Bloodline, even if he keeps on having the best of performances, which is the first, you can't really excel that now, can you? Even if he ends up getting 10 points, 10 points, 10 points, the thing is, Team Charlie may just be in a deficit compared to Team Bravo. So Tamim really needs to, put the pedal to the metal right now, and at the very least, finish like fifth, perhaps even fourth, alongside, Arrow and Evil, because then that means he gets like 2, 3 points, and that can be the differentiating factor. It's only been a single race. However, Team Bravo are in the lead, and they may just keep it. They may just, get to have that lead and keep on extending it. So, yeah, it is one of those situations where the underperforming player, as much as pressure is already onto them, more pressure falls into their laps. And this is something every, not racing fan, not FPS fan, every gamer can relate to. You just have one of those days where you're not really at the best of your level. However, a lot will fall onto you. That's just the nature of esports there is. And when streamers are playing for such a large like prize pool, it's the way it goes.
Yeah, and Tamim, by the looks of it, regardless of being able to finish P4 or P5, he will need to finish, right? He needs
Mm,
points on the board. I think for the next
right.
6 races, that's what his goal needs to be to ensure he gets scrapes off a couple of points at least for the Team Charlie in this event. Mind you, Team Bravo, by the looks of it, if they can get in the top three in the very first race, I see potential. I see race after race, possibly getting to see a 1-2 as well from the likes of
Mhm.
Arm Power as well as SMX. But yeah, it's anyone's guess what's going to unravel in the races to come. Let's not discount Team Alpha even a bit.
Yeah, that was going to be my next point as well. We are talking about a lot of the rivalry between Team Charlie and Team Bravo. And hey, overall in the Streamer Quest, we have been discussing that because at the moment, they are the two main rivals against each other. But Team Alpha, like I've been saying, they are the wild cards. So taking a look at, Arrow and Evil's performance, they finished not like below average, right? Fifth and fourth. Yes, fifth and fourth. Is there any way they can improve, or like, I mean, general tips is all I guess the streamers would be looking for. The main theme we have seen is make fewer mistakes, or is there anything else to the sauce?
Yeah, keep it on the track. As long as you keep it on the road, you're pretty solid, as we saw. Mind you, Ampa, the crucial point where he did lose out on the race lead was after going off track. Pretty straightforward, you might think, but when you're behind the wheel of one of those cars, and when you're going wheel to wheel, likes of someone who's competing for position out there to get the win, like each one of these guys are, mind you, things change. And yeah, I think if they can keep getting the points, they can find themselves in the second spot in the overall standings after all. But we got race 2 has commenced after all.
Oh, all right. Once more, it's going to be Bloodline up against Arm Power. Unfortunately, I don't see some meme on the scoreboard. Maybe he's had a bit of a technical issue, perhaps internet or electricity. That's really, really unfortunate. But at the same time, hey, they are common here in South Asia with all games. We all know, we have all experienced it. So hopefully he can come back as soon as possible. But as for race number 2, it's going to be, Bloodline all alone for Team Charlie. However, he can garner some points. Another mistake by Armpa. His braking is something that needs improving. He is overshooting a lot of these corners and really going around the inside, trying to, just essentially dislodge his opponent. Is Bloodline. He knows what the move he was trying to do. He knows it was a bit dirty right there. However, he was unsuccessful and the gap has extended even further. Once more, Armpa cruising down the streets. It's going to be lap number 2 and he is still in lead.
Yeah, mind you, that's the first time I've seen defensive driving from the likes of a race leader. Usually those running second kind of lose their footing, as did Ampo on our screens. That would have cost him time. Bloodline lines up, move around the outside, and he's up in a race lead. Not like race 1 all over again, but Bloodline goes into the wall, so it's Ampo's momentum or not. He follows through, and Bloodline finds himself locking up, didn't go into the wall, so somehow holds on to the race lead there.
As someone who's learning driving in real life, I'd say that this makes me want to keep my foot on the brake every single time, because these streamers right now, well, they're overshooting by a huge margin in many of these corners. Well, now Bloodline, now that he knows he has the lead, he has like calmed it down. Yeah, he's drifting as well. He's perfecting his braking. And that's something I think this is the most important thing now. Screw acceleration. For these streamers, their main contesting point has to be, can they successfully brake under pressure? And then it's a matter of racing lines as well. Especially if you're defending and you're in front, you want to keep the inside brake a bit earlier and then just close the door against your enemy. Something like what Bloodline may try to do, as Arm Power really closes the gap on him. Oh, this is pretty interesting. Really taking the outside right there's Arm Power, trying every single trick in the book to overtake. Now, is he going to be successful?
Yeah, he took a gamble on the grass and now he's sending it sideways. Both drivers go into the wall, somehow holds on, doesn't wipe them out completely. Bloodline still leading this race. Both drivers rightfully so, picking up each and every checkpoint. That counts for so much more, because if you miss one, it's going to cost you a lot in terms of time. You're on lap number 3 as it stands. Getting every checkpoint in the front is Bloodline, ahead of Arm Power with SMX to follow. Yet again, Team Bravo in the top 3.
Oh, yeah. I mean, having a look at the bottom side of the table as well, same thing for Team Alpha, more misfortune. Now we look at SMX struggling a bit, but good for him. He doesn't have any competition right now. He has one hand out of the controller, like not on the controller. Now he's back onto it, going through the straight, going through the start, and he's just gonna course through the checkpoint. He knows there's no one to contest him, so it's only a battle for the first. And if somehow Arm Power can manage to take the lead, considering that the second member for Team Charlie isn't here, if Bloodline finishes second, it may just be destruction. Arm Power, can he keep the lead? He tries a dirty move, misses, and that's a checkpoint missed for Bloodline. Unfortunate right there. Oh
You can't make this up. This played right into the hands of Ampa. The gamble he took, diving that way, paid off somehow, and he is leading this race ahead of
my
his
god.
teammate in second. Bloodline, it's costed him the race lead. He's down in P3, and it's anyone's guess. That's a little smirk on Ampa's face. He comes across the line. That's race win for him.
Jeez. All right, yeah, that clap, that celebration is well deserved, no matter what happened right there. Oh, unfortunate for Bloodline. Really, really missing the
अरे मैं सेकंड
checkpoint.
दिख रहा हूँ.
That's also going to be something that the streamers really
मैं
shouldn't be looking
सेकंड
to
दिख
do,
रहा
as
हूँ.
SMX driving as closely as possible. The race is about to end. Evil and Arrow. Hopefully they can finish,
लॉल.
as that is going to be second position.
हाँ
Again,
सेकंड आ गया,
top of the
सेकंड आ
derby.
गया.
Beautiful constructor
Oh
for
भाई.
the side of Team Bravo. They are currently
सही है
leading
भाई.
the championship without a single doubt, considering they were in advantage after and they were in the lead after race one. This just solidifies it even more.
Yeah, it got me off the chair, that's for sure. What a moment that was. Ampa's gamble paid
Oof.
off. Just fumbled the mindset of Bloodline to ensure he missed a checkpoint. He didn't
Mm.
crash out. He was clearly trying his best to keep it on the road. But it counted for everything. I mean, SMX coming home at P2, Team Bravo is looking incredible in a matter of a race.
Mm-hmm. They absolutely yeah, for the side of Team Bravo, I've got to say that once more, it's kind of like golf, it's kind of like Halo. They are in lead, and well, their only competition is Team Charlie Bloodline. Hey, maybe it was just one of those instances where it was a bad race. Happens to everyone, even the best, right? So, keeping in mind that over the course of this weekend, we have a total of 14 races, 12 more races to go. After we're done with the initial two, there's still a lot, and I mean a lot of time. And I think everyone can agree there's still a lot of chances for the side of Team Charlie to make a comeback. As for the side of Team Bravo, well, taking a look at the highlights, race number two was absolutely theirs. The moves that they made, the way that the side and that the person, arm power, he attacked, he defended, he tried everything, and in the end, he was successful, even though the journey was a bit up and down.
Yeah, we got to see these moves live and we have it on our screens yet again. Sending it sideways, both hit the wall, somehow held their positions. I think this was the moment, if I'm not wrong. Oh no, the next left hander, possibly. There you go, arm
Oh,
power with the slide that Gamble put Bloodline a bit off and, yep, played into his favor.
my God. Oh, right there. Now you can see the expression on Ampa's face as well. He knows how much that meant to him. Then SMX finishing in third. That's going to be double podium for their side. And one thing that we just noticed that from taking a look at the highlights, there were so many instances where these streamers they were slamming into the walls, right? They were overshooting the corners, their brakes weren't the best. So if we have a track which has a bit more runoff area, maybe something like beach or like you were saying, dirt racing as well, which doesn't have rigid walls like these tracks. And is that going to be a better factor or like a worse factor for streamers who usually overshoot their corners?
So it's going to play into the hands of who's got better car control, right? You overshoot a corner with the dirt track, and the wall's a bit off. As well as we saw moments where they went onto the grass as well. As long as you can keep in control and make sure they know to control the car in different terrains, it should play into their favor. But we got the current standings on board.
Yeah, and well, if there's anything about keeping in control, not just the car, but the standings, it's going to be Team Bravo once more. SMX Arm Power showing their domination, and Team Bravo and their captain as well, Pooja. I mean, she just must be glad with how all of her teammates are performing. And as a captain, it's the best case scenario anyone can wish for. But, in so many of the esports titles that we have seen so far, Team Bravo are leading the charge, and now it puts pressure on the captain of Team Charlie, Binks, as well. He's got to speak a lot of words of wisdom to Bloodline, and hopefully Tamim as well, who I pray has returned. But more so, the problem is with Team Alpha because of the fact that they were not able to finish means that they won't be getting any points. I mean, this to me puts them so far behind that they really need to start bagging double podiums race after race in order to have a bit of contention against the likes of Bravo and Charlie. Would you agree?
Yeah, with 5 races left, seems
Hmm.
like they have to pick a card out of Tamim's book right now of goals. For the next 5 races, they need to ensure they finish to ensure they have a few points at least on the board. Mind you, they're only 10 points
True.
off from Team Charlie, with Bloodline only scoring for them as of now. So while Tamim finds his footing and gets a couple of points, Team Alpha should have capitalized on this specific race, but they failed to. So that was a bit disappointing, but regardless, they will come back. I'm pretty sure of it. Still, only 2 races have been are over, and we've got 5 races left. So let's not discount anyone. Early days.
All right. Now moving on to a bit more, spicy, like masala flavored topic right here. And I mean, come on, everyone likes that. Are we going to see like a bit of like inter-team rivalry turn into like destruction? Maybe with like Arm Power and SMX. Both of them were really gunning for it. Arm Power, yes, he had a major advantage. He finished in first. If that happens, do you think the streamers, with how much they strive to be competitive, with how much entertainment they provide, will that lead to something like both of them crashing into each other in so many races and in so many motorsports as well? We've seen that. Mention any motorsport, and there are going to be hundreds of examples of inter-team rivalries resulting in pretty bad results. Is this going to be one of those instances?
So if you ask me this after race 1, I definitely agree with you, because we did see SMX and Arm Power banging
Uh-huh.
wheels after race 1. Race 2,
Mhm.
SMX seemed elated finishing P2. So I don't think it's that much of an issue right now for Team
Right.
Bravo. But let's
Mhm.
not forget, it's not like Arm Power and SMX really went wheel to wheel as they
True.
did in race 1. So coming to race 3 and race 4, if we do see a bit of tension unravel between the two, hopefully there's someone from Team Alpha or Team Charlie ready right behind to capitalize.
All right. And in general as well, I mean, I mentioned, so many motorsports. Is there any like real life particular example of like an inter-team rivalry that's like your favorite, or like one that really brings you a lot of enjoyment, I guess?
Yeah, well, my head's going straight to Formula One. It is
Mhm.
indeed the first qualifying session of Formula One as we head into race number 3. The inter-team rivalry I'd like to bring up is Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. That got a bit sketchy back in
Ooh.
2016, didn't it?
It did. It did. I mean, that was like a big saga as well, not just one event. I mean, obviously, Monaco was the event that brought a lot of it up. However, right now, SMX, he brings up a lot right there as he takes out, I believe that was Ampa. I mean, look at Bloodline. He has fresh air right now, like clean air in front of him. No one to really contest him. SMX really tried to, break very, very late heading into that left-hander. However, it just backfired badly, and Bloodline, he's not speaking anything. He's in flow state right now, and he's just looking to keep this lead.
That's what I was going to bring up. Calm and composed. Bloodline, he seemed unaffected that there was a car being flung right in front of his screen. So clearly it didn't work in Team Bravo's favor. Ampa finds himself down in P4. Evidently, so Team Alpha finds himself in the mix for the top 3 with Evil running P3. But Bloodline leads this race. And I think with the face he has on screen, he's set for a probable race win.
He certainly can. He just has to make sure he makes the fewest amount of mistakes. And looking at his braking right now, his acceleration, he is keeping that very much in mind. And once more, he's not doing anything major. Seems to be a similar track as well. And he knows what the breaking point is. This time he's extra careful. I mean, he braked, if anything, he braked a bit early, just so he had like enough momentum that he could go through that left-hander, and then he started accelerating. Now, moving on to SMX back in P2 as well, he is really close to Bloodline. However, both of them are following different ideologies. Where Bloodline has the calm and composed braking early, SMX is like, I'm gonna dash it in every single corner. Maybe, hopefully, I have enough speed to catch up.
Yeah, SMX is basically saying send it through every corner, and while Bloodline, he's picking up ultimate clean racing XP points through every corner. So clearly, SMX, his head's in the game, but he's losing time. Not something you want on race
Yep.
number 3 when you're the one leading the charge for your team. But mind you, Ampa's made the move on Evil, and he's up at a P3. So that inter-team rivalry might just pan out soon enough on our screens.
In May. And now, speaking of the teammates as well, Samim is back and he's currently in P5. The thing is, though, he has to finish. He cannot, just lose out. So that is the major point right now, that even if he's in P5, he has to finish and get the 2 points for his team, because to Team Charlie, every single point matters. Because once more, the likes of Team Bravo, they are looking for the double podium, and chances are, well, most likely they are going to get it. Bloodline, No opposition for
Again,
him
graphics चाहिए
whatsoever.
होते हैं
He's
बीच
heading
में.
into lap number 3. You now have someone like Evil as well, who may have to pick up
तो
his
थोड़ा सा
phone. Hopefully, he
possibilities थोड़ा
resumes
सा
on
कम हो
his
जाती है उस
driving
चक्कर
right
में.
now. And
But
keeping that in mind, yeah, he's really focused. But then again, is he going to have a chance to catch up to Armpa?
Yeah, time will tell. We're on lap 3 after all. This is
यार
close.
थर्ड
Evil
पोजीशन के
needs
लिए
to buck
बहुत
up, but he's
गैप आ
going into
गया
the
भाई,
wall.
निकल गया
Arm
आगे.
power, I'm pretty sure
मतलब
his eyes
यार
are
उन लोगों
set
को ना ड्रिफ्टिंग
inside
अगर
for
आती है, हम लोगों
Bloodline
को
to take
ड्रिफ्ट नहीं
that
आती,
fight
हम
back
सिर्फ
to the
नॉर्मल
front.
रेस में
But as we ride
भगा
on board
सकते हैं. लाइक
Evil, finishing ahead of Tamim will be a key goal in this race at least. That'll count for points, definitely. Taken away from their rival team, Team Charlie, as well as a few points for themselves as well, which will count for the overall standings at the very end. We're on the last lap. Bloodline leads this race ahead of Arm Power and the likes of Evil. SMX seems to have vanished from the scoreboard. I wonder what happened there.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. Maybe it was something about him disconnecting. Hopefully, it isn't, because that is not something that the likes of Team Bravo and all of their fans watching would like.
Bro, I
Bloodline
love this
once more,
car.
yeah,
Wow.
really
Man,
taking
it's
it
so fucking good.
extremely slowly. Was a bit into the gravel, but again, doesn't collide with the wall. That's what matters. He keeps his car in control, and he knows it's far better to lose a couple of the seconds than lose a lot more by going into directly into the wall as well. And now you have Arm Palm
Bola?
going through the same checkpoints, a bit behind Bloodline. And once more, this may just be the end. A couple more checkpoints remaining. The race will come to an end. Bloodline, he has to keep the car in control, not lose out in the end stage. That is going to be far, far worse than not having the lead early on. And with him going through the final couple of corners, I think our standings are done for the side of race number 3. We aren't really going to see a lot more overtakes. Hopefully, SMX comes back for race number 4. Not really sure what happened right here. But keeping all of that in mind, the side of Team Charlie, they will be the winners of race number 3.
Yeah, Ampao really did realize what the race ended up being. Clean race at the very end. He had to ensure a clean race finish in second, which is great for the team considering SMX completely vanished. But seems like Team Charlie finally found their footing with the likes of Tamim. I keep bringing this up. He finally managed to score points, and hopefully in race number 3, it's just the beginning for him. However, Team Alpha finds themselves in the top 3 for the first time today. Evil will cross the line in P3 soon enough on our screens, and yes, he does.
All right, that's going to be the first podium for the side of Team Alpha as well. All right, glad for Evil. And yeah, I mean, it's really a deserving win because Team Alpha, after losing out on, the second race and not getting a single point on board, both the streamers falling out, this is really can be a redemption moment for them. And it has to be. We need to see better and better performances. This one maybe was because of the fact that SMX disconnected, that Evil was able to get third place. But hey, every single point counts, and the streamers, whatever misfortune happens to one of their competitors, whether it be internet disconnecting or just disconnections in general, they have to make sure that they can capitalize off of that, because it is going to be a cutthroat environment. The streamer quest waits for no one. If you are not the winning team, then my friend, you are losing. It's as simple as that. Even with the prize pool, you may just be losing if you're not going to be the team at the top. But so far, it's going to be Team Charlie, for sure, the team at the top, getting major points to their side. Congratulations to Bloodline, and a great performance by Tamim as well, improving. He can be one of those streamers, like we were talking about all the way back in the Streamer Invitational, like those streamers who improve. Tamim can absolutely be one of them.
Yeah, and that's 2 race wins to the likes of Team Charlie already.
Yep.
And while we see Team Alpha still finding their footing, getting that podium finally for the first time here today on race number 3, I think it should be a good starting point. Race 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 4 races left, and if they can ensure that they are on the podium race after race, things should pan out in their favor. Finishing a modest second in the overall standings would be great. But damn, Team Bravo, my apologies, but think about it. Ampa and SMX, they were set
Oof.
again for a P2 and P3 finish, possibly, if SMX hadn't disconnected the way he did. So, rightfully, Ampa, every jab he's putting in, race on race, counting for that much more for the team. I think this race costed a lot, considering SMX disconnected.
Right.
Going in the next race, just staying connected, ensuring you finish up ahead of Bloodline in the most convenient of situations would be great for them.
Yeah, Team Bravo, I mean, again, but the thing is, that's easier said than done. I mean, absolutely, Arm Power would like to be in front of Bloodline. However, the competition he's giving, I'm not really sure if he's going like unless something like what happened all the way back in race 2 happens, where you have to go for like a bit of a cheeky little move to, just essentially eliminate your opponent out of the situation. However, even if you eliminate them, it's only temporarily. Overall, in the standings so far, it's going to be, I have to say that it's going to be the side of Team Bravo, who I believe are still in the advantage. Maybe not. Not really sure. With so much that's been happening with the disconnections, with other members getting points as well, it's just going to be up in the air. And it's up to the streamers as well to, to juggle through all of that. But we'll take a look at the current standings to see that right now, who's going to be in lead. And it is, like I said, it is still going to be Team Bravo. So unfortunate that, Samim could not finish. Or once more, he couldn't, even though he got
Oh,
P5. Yeah, he was
wow.
not able to finish the race. That's going to be another no points finish for him. That could have been it. That could have been, yeah, extra, what, 3 points that could
Yeah,
have gone his way in the way of Team Charlie?
yeah,
Man,
definitely. We would have counted for so much more. We saw this coming, didn't we, after race one? Unfortunate
yeah.
for Team Charlie if they really are slacking off, slacking just because one of their team members are unable to score those points. Hopefully, next couple of races they can. Mind you, in Team Alpha, they did manage to secure a few points for themselves. Evil Official coming across the line on the podium, 5 points for him, so the total's at 10. I think they're probably not as close as they want to be with the likes of Charlie, but I think they can get closer. This is an opportunity for them, considering it does seem like Bloodline is doing all the heavy work there. But yeah, to think what the score could have been if SMX had finished that race.
Oof.
Ah, yep. Uh, but yeah, Team Bravo, mind you, they're off to a great start. Last four races, you can expect only the best. I'm pretty sure all the fans of SMX and Arm Power will be on their toes, hoping for a victory in this event today. Um, Meanwhile, probably something to bring up right now is the significant incident which we didn't talk much about. We did talk about it for a bit of time, but in the beginning of race three at the start, Team Bravo tried to move things into their favor. We saw
Yeah.
SMX get flung around the outside. If he had kept it straight, he kept the car straight, he possibly would have been in the lead with Arm Power fighting for P2. But that didn't happen. Went the other way, just like SMX's car did as well, completely off track and pointing
Right.
the wrong way.
Yeah, it just backfired in quite literally the worst way possible. I mean, it allowed Bloodline to just take the lead, no holds barred, free access, and that was that. For the rest of the race, it wasn't a race for the side of Bloodline. It was just rather a casual drive one would take on a Friday. He was just going through, following all the traffic laws, braking early, if anything. Usually we commend racers for, braking very late and still keeping control of the car. Hey, Amba was like, no, 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 I'm gonna make sure I don't mess up at all. And to be fair to him, he didn't. He kept control of it. He was in the lead. There was no one trying to take the lead away from him because no one could, because everyone was quite far behind. And it resulted in a pretty nice early win. However, in a way that also resulted in a bit of misfortune for his team. Because he finished so early, someone like Samim didn't have enough time in among the 30 seconds to, cross to the finish line as well. So because of Bloodline's amazing performance, his team missed out on an extra 3 points. But then again, you can't really blame Bloodline for that. He had to finish the earliest. That is, after all, the point of racing. You have to finish the earliest. It's more about Samim trying to catch up to his teammate.
Yeah, clearly. Couldn't have put it better myself. But right
Hmm.
now, Tamizhan really needs to finish. He really needs those points for his
Yes.
team. Team Alpha, they're coming. They really are. And if they can manage to get one race where both of their members are in the top three, that's going to change a couple of things quite quickly. But yeah, Bloodline's gotten everything under control. Clearly, he gets that race lead. He's pretty much clear of any issues unless he's got a really rampant arm power charging right behind, trying all his tricks around the outside. Uh, but yeah, I'm looking forward to race 4, race 5, race 6, race 7. Each race being even more grippier, if I could swing that in as well, than the previous one.
Mhm.
And hopefully in race 4, we
Yeah.
see a new race winner.
Oh, I absolutely have to. And I want to see someone from the side of Team Alpha as well. Because Team Alpha, yeah, overall in the streamer quest, they really have been the overlooked team at times. In something like golf, they never managed to take the win. Either it was well, it was really, I believe, two people who were getting the wins in golf. It was Vanessa from Team Charlie and then Mackle from Team Bravo who were winning. In Halo as well, it was always Team Charlie and Team Bravo winning. Even in Age of Empires, yes, it was a second place position for the side of Team Alpha. Not a win. Maybe in Among Us they'd won, but I really don't remember that, unfortunately. It was a while ago. I mean, the streamer quest, it spans over a month. There's so much entertainment. Your brain really can't handle all of it. But that's why we have it spread over the month to make sure you get your enjoyment in its due course. And right now, race number 4 is going to be resuming as well very shortly. I know everyone's waiting for it. So are we. But like we saw, a couple of the streamers, they were disconnecting. Earlier, it was the meme. Right now, it was SMX. We're hoping on the back end, everything is, completely ironed out before we can start race 4. Because as these streamers, they are playing for a real cash prize right here. They are playing for 5 lakh rupees going into their team. So missing out even a single race because of internet can be an issue. So hopefully we are giving them a bit of time to get back so that they can play for the prizes. And you, the audience member watching, you can also play for prizes. If you go down in the description and you fill out the giveaway, it has a lot of entries right now, and you can also get a lot of chances to fill out your entries. You can be on par to win some amazing goodies being provided by AMD as well. You certainly do not want to miss out on that. So make sure you go in the description and register for that as you keep on watching Forza Horizon 5, as you wait for race number 4, which will make me think that the only thing we have been seeing is a change in cars right now, and it makes you wonder like what's going to be the next car on a track like this. You've seen this track a lot of times right now. Zadak, what is one car you want to see perhaps?
Yeah, I brought it up earlier on. First off, I want to see dirt terrain to begin
Mm-hmm.
with. And
Yeah.
I don't know if it's part of it. Maybe someone from TC can let me know. I know it's still in the unknown for everyone, including me. Last time around, I had Assassin, spoiling it for all of us, race on race. But yeah, I'm going to say the Hoonigan. Any car
Okay.
which is a Hoonigan is beautiful, especially on the dirt terrain. I would love to see the Ferrari SP Monza. I enjoyed watching it with Hydroflick behind the wheel last time around. I'd love to see arm power behind the wheel of an SP Monza as well. I think that'll be a treat for the audience to watch as well, and we'll get to see quite the action on asphalt as well as dirt. But
Mm.
a car right off the top of your mind, perhaps not even the one which would be convenient to race in the next track, but perhaps one that's your favorite CCV.
I'm not that much into cars. I'm not gonna lie. Like for me, it's not just about the car. Like obviously, I know we're here in Forza Horizon 5, but I don't know. It's always not been majorly about the car or rather the engine. V6s, V8s, something along the lines of that. It's just about the driver for me. It's so like elegant to watch someone like drive any car, but the sheer control one can have, knowing how the track is, knowing how the car is, and just being one with the machine after all. In so many times you see this term being thrown around, even in something like FPS games. Like he's one with the mouse and keyboard. He knows what's done. And to be fair, similar thing can be happen for the side of cars, not just in Forza, but in real life as well. So me, it's more about the drivers. And so far, this rivalry has been brewing up. I mean, it's a three-way tie right now. You have, the two top runners. You have Bloodline up against Arm Power, race after race after race. They have been going against the necks of each other. And then you have someone like SMX, who more often than not shows up into the mix, does something or the other, and then goes back to like P2 or P3.
Yeah, right place at the right moment, I guess. Hopefully we don't get to see him get kicked out of the lobby too early on, like we did see
Hopefully.
in race 3. Um, I think he's brilliant for that team. Team Bravo, they've been doing well thanks to SMX getting those points, and
Yes.
rightfully so. They lead so far in day one of Forza Horizon 5 here at Streamer Quest. So now's the question: what can Team Alpha do differently? Right? I think starts. That's where they need to capitalize on. We see Team
Yep.
Bravo, fighting for it. We did see in race 3, clearly they were desperate for the race lead, either SMX or Ampo. They wanted one of them to get it first before Bloodline got that clear air. But Bloodline got it, and clearly he just ran away with the win at that point. So yeah, I think starts is where they can possibly capitalize on. And yeah, time will tell whether they can actually translate that into results as well. Evil Official and the likes of Arrow of Team Alpha.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Keeping in mind that so far, it's not just about the race, it's also about the psychology, right? And I've said this for so many games that we have seen in Stream Requests, but even other esports titles that we have here, the esports club, that a lot of it has to play into the psychology. It's one of my favorite topics to think about. And in the context of Forza and in the context of, Team Alpha, they're thinking that, man, we are not really in contention for the win. I guess both of us, we perform, we give like consistent performances, try and take like middle-ish on like average points, and then finish second overall in Forza. That's their goal. If they change that, and if they get a good result, not only is that going to be a big confident boost to them, they'll be like, oh, I guess we can win races. Why not go for that right since the start, as everyone already will? But more so, they can set goals along the lines of that as well. It's one thing to think about, winning races. It's another to completely act on it. And if they start acting on it, and if the results speak for themselves, then other members, the likes of Team Bravo and Charlie, even they'll be like, oh, it's gonna be evil, coming down the road, better be careful of him, maybe maneuver my way and not entirely overlook the members of Team Alpha. It's that bravado that'll happen on the road alongside them as well. And so many times we've seen this in real life with drivers in motorsport, is that a driver will have that attitude with them that other drivers will respect. But now we have to go into the night. It's going to be race number 4, and it's going to be back up again. This time, Bloodline starts from the last, overtakes his teammate Samim, and now taking a look at his point of view, this is going to be him going from last to first. Armpa really going a bit wide towards the grass. No collision right now. They're just speeding down, going as fast as possible. 160, breaking down, drifting, and all of them are going to collide into the wall.
Yeah, after 13% progress, we've got collisions on now, and I think Team Alpha is poised for a good finish if they can hold on to their positions. Mind you, SMX is into the race lead. We see a bit of wheel banging as well, with Arrow falling down the order. Evil Official going completely to the right-hand side of your screen, and he's down in a P3 now, if I'm not wrong. But as it stands, Bloodline finding it difficult to make those passes happen, but as I say that, he's gotten 2, and he's up at a P2 now.
My God, Bloodline, the way he breaks his gear shifts as well, everything is on point, and now he has his prey in front of him. SMX into P1. He's closing down the gap like very precisely. Now taking a look at SMX, is he really going to be checking his rear view mirror? From his point of view, he isn't. At the moment, he has to check the mini map, and he may just be aware that there is someone behind him closing the gap very, very rapidly. So he's got to be careful about his braking as well. It is, after all, a new track. This isn't going to be near the beach side. This is going to be more about the roads, and both of them crash. SMX, look at the smile on his face. That was a big mistake, but he knows he has somehow recovered from that. It's all about the braking.
Yeah, he's so lucky Bloodline crashed just like him. I think otherwise Bloodline would have gotten away pretty well. And I think he's hoping, I'm pretty sure if he's got a line of communication for Armpower right now, he'll be saying, Armpower, like, get going, close in on Bloodline, because he's charging onto me as well. As you can see from Armpower's screen, Bloodline's up ahead, so close between Bloodline and SMX. He's got a bit of ground to make up. They collide as well up in front. Armpower gets an opportunity. He's up in a P2. It's Team Bravo. Oh, he lets go of Armpower as well. This is team play 101, folks. Armpower in the race lead, SMX in P2.
It's 73% progress right now, so 3/4 of the race is done. And now it's a huge battle taking place for second, third, and fourth position. Bloodline right now not happy with the other racers. SMX trying to push him off course. He has to break a bit, give the position. Evil's onto the mix. Bloodline really not satisfied with how his race is going so far. Once more he is pushed, but Evil is out of the mix. I think he crashed into the wall. Still, 88% progress done. Bloodline, a lot of work to do. I guess P1 is out of contention. He can still overtake SMX. Is SMX going to let him? They collide. He takes the inside. He's got to break in front of him. SMX collides into the wall, and that's going to be P2 for Bloodline.
Yeah, but SMX is bound to come back, but not close enough. Across the line, Armpower, another race win for him. Bloodline a bit too off, but SMX, my oh my. It was just like how I said it after race 2. SMX played it well for his team. Team Bravo holds on to that lead overall, I'm pretty sure. And mind you, Evil and Arrow being that close, I'm pretty sure they finished, and that's a good points haul for Team Alpha.
Absolutely. Amazing performance we've just seen from the side of Team Bravo as well. Pure like teamwork, like you mentioned during the race. And then you had the defense from SMX. I mean, that really, I mean, yeah, like I said about the psychology for Bloodline, that was like a tipping point for him when he was having that three-way battle against Evil and SMX, and he was getting pushed around. That's the thing about Collision, and that's the thing about these cars. You can lose traction pretty darn quickly, and then to recover from that when you are so close to your rivals, it's very difficult. So he was going the more passive route. He was braking, letting SMX stay in front of him, and then when he had a clear opportunity, that's when he overtook. But by then, it was a little too late for him to try and get into P1 as well. He had to settle for the second position, but still, great position. Hopefully, his teammate Tamim finished to lessen the blow of the lead that Team Bravo have building for them. But so far, Team Bravo, they are looking really good. And taking a look at the highlights, I think this was the best race we have seen so far out of the bunch.
Yeah, definitely. Coming out of race three, I thought that was one beautiful race, but this one, I didn't see it coming one bit. The way SMX played it into the hands of Team Charlie, and we saw Arrow go wheel to wheel for the first time with Bloodline today, and he did hold his ground as much as he could, rightfully so. Bloodline going past arm power there and up into P2, that was his moment, and if he had only close that gap to the likes of SMX right there at
Oof.
that moment instead of crashing out along with him. A bit early on the brakes would have played off, but I guess this was the moment. Yes, it was SMX holding. You can see him slowing down and letting arm power go around the outside, holding up Bloodline, playing it into that favor team. Bravo.
Yeah, Team Bravo, they know that at the end of the day, it's not about who finishes. Like, it's not individual points. Either the drivers aren't really playing for their own standings. It is just like constructors. It's all about the team play. And that's exactly what SMX and Armpower realized. SMX led them through. And that was going to be P1, as we can see on the screens. Again, the celebratory clap that is now custom with Armpower's performance. You makes you wonder how many of these claps are you going to be seeing later on today and tomorrow as well. We still have three more matches remain. Sorry, three more races remaining, and then we have seven more tomorrow. But so far, Team Bravo. I mean, we'll have a look at the standings in just a bit. But so far, Team Bravo, is there any way they can be opposed?
Tamim and Bloodline
Yeah.
getting the race lead at the start. I think I mentioned this once before as well. You got three cars in front of Bloodline. He's going to have a lot of work to do. And I think he fumbles just that much, enough for another team to capitalize on. And we clearly did see that in race four. And if Tamim can step up, bring in a few points in their favor, that'll help for so much more at this point. Mind you, Team Alpha, I hope I'm not wrong. I think they did get a good points haul after all.
Yeah, this race, I believe they managed to get a couple of points as well. Evil, I believe he finished P4, and then you had a teammate finishing P5. We'll take a look at the standings, but so far I have to say that Alpha is still the underdogs. They need like a better than third performance. So far, their best has been P3. They need to win a race, plain and simple. That will put them on the map because every race that they are, down and out and they're like finishing out of contention, out of like the podium is another race where they're just extending the disadvantage they have further and further. It's another race where Team Bravo and Team Charlie, they keep racking up points, which they have been. And taking a look at the standings, we can see precisely who is in the lead.
Okay, they did manage to get a few points. After all, Team Alpha finds themselves closer to Team Charlie. Probably not the best as always, but 15 points for them down in P3. Right now, Team Charlie, they need the points. Tamim received his first point after all today, so they're in with 33 points in P2 overall. Team Bravo, however, you can see that points all counting for that much more every race. 51 points, and they lead the event.
Hmm. Yeah, so far, Team Bravo, I have to say, they are doing an excellent job. I mean, they have two race wins under their belt. Arm power up against Bloodline. This is shaping up to be. I know I just said this isn't about the drivers individually, rather about the teams, and that is the case officially. But unofficially, this is a competition we have riling up. Amongst the two of them, who can get more points overall, plus who can have more race wins. So far, I believe it is equal for them. Bloodline has what? No, Armpa is currently leading by 2 points against Bloodline. All right, I'll keep personal score of this. Even though this doesn't matter in the overall standings, I just want to see who is, after all, the best driver out of the bunch, out of the six that we have today. So far, it's going to be Armpa leading by just 2 points. That's a very thin margin. But at the same time, looking at it overall, yeah, Team Charlie, they need the work. Samim, good for him. His first point show right now, but he needs to make it better. Not only does he need to finish P6, he needs like a lot more points. He needs to be P5, P4, hopefully as well. That can allow his team to gain back at the advantage the Team Bravo are building. Because honestly, with how today itself is shaping up to be, Team Bravo may have such a significant advantage that day two may not matter that much. They may just give an average performance and take out the win.
Yeah, and mind you, if Tamim can keep up with Bloodline, that's
Hmm.
gonna count for so much more in the next three races. We can see SMX playing that team game after all, as we expected. I was a bit skeptical. I didn't think SMX would, but he did. The way he slowed down, having had the race lead, he knew Bloodline was close enough. Arm Power had the momentum, had the pace to ensure he could pass both cars, and they did it at the perfect moment, and that paid off so much. And he ended up finishing P3, not P2. They would have loved another 1-2, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, still a good points haul and still leading this event right now.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I have to say, so far, Team Bravo leading in terms of the performance, not just here in the Forza Horizon weekend, but overall in the streamer quest. Yeah, their team is looking very, very strong right now, regardless of which streamers put into which bracket and which games they play. Maybe they can continue this for Overcooked in Minecraft as well. You don't really know. That's still up for later in the month. Right now, we have three more races in front of us. And this makes me think of the setting and the different track that's going to be there. We finally saw a different track. Quite interesting. Wasn't just about the laps, it was about the total progress. So none of the track was repeating in of itself. That was really good. Led to a lot of moments, especially we had that, the left corner that was there, the sharp left corner, which then led to the everyone just crashing on through. Really unfortunate, but yeah, Bloodline could have taken the advantage there. SMX, that looked like a pretty bad crash. If the cars had like real damage, that was a race ending moment right there. But then again, with the way these streamers have been crashing, every single one of their crashes is a race ending one. Not gonna lie. But yeah, apart from their braking, everything has been good. They're keeping up with the checkpoints. The racing has been quite interesting. I mean, they are streamers after all. They have to go for, it's not just about the clean racing. It's about getting an advantage wherever you can. It's about the hook and crook. So wherever they can push out one of their opponents, well, they are gonna do that.
Yeah, we've seen Team Bravo
Hmm.
brilliantly showcasing that, I must say, at least in the early races. I think it was
Yep.
very strategic in race four. I don't think it was along the same lines of being a little bit, rambling on to the shady regions of racing. But definitely Team Alpha getting in the mix, getting wheel to wheel with the likes of Team Bravo as well as Team Charlie counts for so much more. I don't think it would have panned out the same way, the race
Yeah.
result, in favor of Team Bravo, if Team Alpha hadn't come in between the mix. And we saw Evil Official, we saw the likes of Arrow as well going wheel to wheel with the likes of Team Bravo and Team Charlie at the early stages of race 4. So if we can get to see that even more, perhaps next time around we get to see Team Alpha having the advantage in race 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, if you get your elbows out, if you tell to the other members as well, I'm not gonna back down. I don't care how many points I have. I don't care where our team stands in the overall, competition, how many points we have as well. I am gonna play for the win. Doesn't matter to me because someone like Team Alpha, they have nothing to lose and everything to gain. They are in a position where they can do the most wildest of strategies and be just as aggressive as possible, and it may work out in their favor because the other teams, they have a lot to lose. They may have to be a bit passive. They may have to give off the space. We saw that with Bloodline. He was breaking an extra build to prevent himself colliding with the likes of, I believe that was Evil and SMX. That was happening towards the end of the race. Something like that may just be repeated, and who knows, maybe the members of Team Bravo also have to abide by that, because Team Alpha, yeah, if they can take and if they can use advantage of the situation where they can be as aggressive as possible, it may work in their favor, but they just have to be in the correct situation, though.
Yeah, I think Bloodline, given that strategic moment of Team Bravo, especially, I think he needs to be a
Hmm.
bit more attentive on what the race leader's doing. I think at that moment when he was closing in on SMX, he thought he was actually gaining on SMX, whereas it was the other way around. SMX was clearly slowing down. He should have
Right.
paid attention with Ampao being right alongside him. Maybe taken the gamble over the grass and possibly picked off the race lead, prohibiting Arm Power to do so, and SMX left behind for slowing down as well. Perhaps he will be. We did see him do better after that first Arm Power win. We did see him come back in race 3 and win again. Hopefully, we see that happening with Bloodline yet again. He comes back in race 5 and wins.
Yeah, it's just going to be extremely interesting with what happens on the side of Bloodline as well. And so far, it's going to be now time for race number 5. Once more, the saga continues. Team Bravo up against Team Charlie. It's going to be Armpower against Bloodline. And taking a look, well, all of them are racing once more. It's going to be Thamim with the lead right now. Arrow in second. Okay, this is pretty interesting. We go through this right-hander. A lot of the members braking. You've got to be careful with that. Taking a look at Bloodline. He's now looking to take the lead against Arrow from the side of Team Alpha. Arrow really not abiding, but he pushes him off. He's got to go for the checkpoint. Arrow really having the misfortune there. That is just sad.
Oh, he got bullied out on track. Unfortunately for Arrow, Armpower finds himself in the lead. Bit too wide there, my friend, as Bloodline picks off the race lead. Smart man, Bloodline, keeping it clean. Everything playing into his favor. Mind you, I believe the asphalt's a bit wet. That is why we see most of these streamers going sideways and off track, getting sent into the grass. Tamim needs to buck up, possibly finish in the top 5. It'd be brilliant. But right now, Team Bravo on the back foot with SMX way down alongside Tamim, with Armpower left alone up ahead. Arrow and Evil, it's their time to capitalize. Team Alpha in the mix of the battle right in the midfield.
Absolutely. So if they can get average points for their side as well, it's going to be amazing. In the meanwhile, SMX, oh, he's struggling in the wet weather conditions right now. He really can't seem to get any traction whatsoever. Now he's onto a bit of a drier part of the track, one that's not entirely plagued with water, and he needs to keep this traction, because otherwise, being down into P5 really not looking good for the side of Team Bravo, who want to keep the lead. And as Evil says right now, it's 45% progress, and still Team Alpha are in 3rd and 4th position. Again, overall great racing from their side, consistent performances, and then moving on over to the top 2, it's going to be racing once more.
Yeah, and Armpower trying his best to close in. Bloodline goes into the wall, and rightfully so, Armpower follows, sends sideways, straightens the car back on that, okay, I just lost my words, but the goal right now is to close that gap to the likes of Bloodline. And mind you, they just handed him clear air. So Bloodline, he's at the best position he could be. The most convenient position he could be. 75% progress. I won't be surprised if he takes the win at this point.
I think he may just be able to take the win right now. Yeah, Bloodline. Really with how he's, driving. Yeah, he doesn't care too much about the speed. He knows that sooner rather than later, Amba make a mistake, and that mistake is going to cost him precious seconds or even milliseconds. So that's why all Bloodline is doing is just keeping it, or trying to keep it on track to his very best of his abilities. 96% progress. He is going to be the winner of race number 5.
Yeah, and he came back, didn't he? Armpower,
yes.
He was probably not as close as he'd want to be, and you can see in his face. Giving Bloodline the clear air off the start is the biggest mistake you can do right now. That's another race win for Bloodline.
Not bad.
Exactly, that's going to be another win for him. Now taking a look at Evil in P3. Now, is he going to get overtaken by Arrow? Unlikely so. We really can't see as a minimap, unfortunately, since his cam is covering it, but no. He completes it successfully. His teammate may also finish, and that's going to be, I believe, everyone finishing right there. So I guess everyone gets points.
It should be. I believe that it was that Tamim or SMX right behind the likes of Arrow. Nevertheless, soon enough we'll find out. I think this time around, Bloodline, pretty much textbook drive from him. Got clear air as he wanted and managed to finish P1. Armpower managed to finish P2 for his team. Rightfully so. They are still in contention. They still get those points. SMX, he couldn't find his footing on that wet asphalt, could he?
Yeah, the conditions really a big change. I mean, we have seen a change in the track layout. We've seen a change in the weather, but not to this extent. This was the first time there was water on course, and it just slid SMX right off course as well. Taking a look at the highlights, we are going to see some moments of racing, some moments of crashing as well. And early on, it was really any man's game. But as soon as Bloodline took the win here by drifting in a far better manner and being on course than Armpower, it was his race to be. Amba was able to, yeah, in this very corner, try and take the win, but then he collided with the wall, slid off course, and that spelled the end. That was a simple win for Bloodline. At the top of the table, not much racing. It was more about the mid table. That was quite interesting, seeing how Team Alpha got good performances.
Yeah, and yeah, as you say, Team Alpha. Definitely, this was the kind of race finish they needed, and I
Yes.
think it should close in on Team Charlie a bit. Mind you, if these kind of results come only when Bloodline's winning, clearly they're not going to close that gap. They're not going to finish
Mhm.
modest second at all. Hopefully, going into the next race, they hold on to that race lead kind of positions. We did see them on the race lead in race number 4. Hopefully, they're in the race lead come race number 6 as well, and possibly hold on to that with a bit of teamwork from Evil as well as Arrow, and a good points haul perhaps. Soon enough, we'll find out. But for now, Team Bravo doing impeccably as always.
Yeah, absolutely so. Consistent as always. Armpa really being at the top. I don't think there's ever been a race where Armpa has not been in the top two. I think, yeah, this one as well, with him being in second, he is just like Mr. Consistent right now. Either he's first or he's second, and you really need that kind of person. And and the members of Team Bravo, most specifically, are going to be really happy having someone like him on their team. And taking a look at the overall standings as well, yeah, arm power significance really comes into play as we take a look on the numbers. And 17-point lead for the side of Team Bravo. Thamim once more not able to finish. Team Charlie, they had a better overall performance because Bloodline got 10 points and Bravo got 9. But that's only a single point difference. One.
Yeah, I mean, right now, by the looks of it, you can see Arm Power as well as Bloodline. They've been on the podium in the top three, finished the race in the top three in every race. That one fumble from the likes of Bloodline in race number 2, having finished in P3, might have just cost him in that little tally you're keeping count of. With the
Yep.
likes of driver versus driver. But right now, team wise, Team Bravo is poised and well with the win. If Tamim doesn't come back for his team right now, they really, really need points, Team Charlie. And they are getting it from the likes of Bloodline. They need it from Tamim as well right now.
On the side of Team Alpha, even though they had good performances, overall, they were still the bottom performing team right now because they had an overall 8 points. That's still one lower than the likes of Team Bravo. So, what we need to see is something better than third place. We need to see a second. We need to see a change in the top two because so far it's only been Arm Power Bloodline. Once it was SMX finishing second as well. That has got to change. As right now, like you were mentioning, Natalie, it's going to be Bloodline being the best driver, but only by a single point. That is it. 1 point separating the two drivers right now. Bloodline versus Armpa. Heading into race number 6 as well. No matter who wins, it's going to be entertaining. And you know what? It's been entertainment all around March, starting off. With all the titles that we had, even the ones that aren't really being played for the points, such as Among Us, and later on we have Sea of Thieves as well here, the Streamer Quest, and then all the games, they just had heaps and heaps of entertainment, not just for the streamers as well, but for their viewers. And you, the viewer watching, if you with your friends would like to participate in any of the races that's happening in Forza Horizon, in any of the large scale battles that were taking place in Halo, or anything along the lines of them, all of the games that are being showcased here in the Streamer Quest are available alongside hundreds of others in the Xbox Game Pass. So you can get that for a select price every single month, get access to so many games, make sure you never run out of them. And if you would not like to pay for Xbox Game Pass, well, guess what? You're still in luck. You can go down in the description, get a select AMD laptop which has and which features, the Ryzen 5000 processors, and you'll get Xbox Game Pass for free. And right now, these streamers, they have a chance to win rupees 5 lakhs for free. However, they have to work a lot for it over the course of March. We have seen 3 titles get over already. This is going to be the fourth. This is going to be Forza. And so far, still, Team Bravo, they are in the lead, but Team Charlie, they are in hot pursuit. The thing is, can they overtake them?
Yeah, right now for that enormous prize pool, it's Team Bravo putting in the work race on race. Mind you, the The win has been traded hands
Hmm.
between Team Bravo and Team Charlie. Bloodline and Arm Power, race after race, 3 race wins for our man Bloodline, who we ride on board right now. We have 2 race wins for Arm Power up ahead, as we can see. Collisions are off for now. We're going into, I believe, the first or second corner. They should be on once again. Okay, we
Oh,
got 3
so many
cars
people
completely onto
overshooting.
the grass. Yeah.
Yeah, losing traction. Armbar does manage to recover. However, look at the advantage it's given to someone like Bloodline who can go for the overtake. But up in P1, you have an unknown face who really we haven't seen so far in P1. It's going to be Arrow. However, this is going to be the battle of the champions right now. P1 and P2 in the overall driver standings. It's going to be Bloodline and Armbar going wheel to wheel once more. Bloodline, he backs off. He's looking for a chance once more. He wants the slipstream of Ampa as soon as he can. And in this air right now, with mainly straights that are being concerned with this map, not really a lot of heavy braking zones. This was a rather lighter one. And looks to me like Bloodline lost a bit more time as Ampa. He is on his braking game right now. So once more, all Ampa has to do is keep position, and then, well, he can vouch for overtakes as well.
Yeah, and he's not going to be able to keep position if he keeps gambling it out on the grass with that huge gap to Arrow. Of course, mind you, he has a huge gap to Bloodline as well. Bloodline clearly aware of the situation. He's trying his best to keep it clean by getting as much as he can ultimate clean racing XP points as he is down in P3. But Ampower, he's on his toes. He wants to take that fight to Arrow, who's in the
Oh,
race lead for the first time and continues to be on the race lead at the 50% mark. He locks up quite a bit, and now the gap's pretty much insignificant. Both go onto the grass
no!
and into the trees they go.
Oh,
This is
no.
checkpoint missed. Opportunity for Bloodline, perhaps.
Oh, he
No,
misses
he
the
follows
checkpoint as
suit.
well.
He follows
My
suit.
God. Everyone,
Disaster.
everyone missed the checkpoint right there. It's all about the braking. It's all about the braking. SMX now, I think he also went in a similar manner. But now Bloodline, I believe he is in third position. Yes, he is. Arm power arrow still in front of him. All he had to do was not mess up. Everyone messed up. Really unfortunate stuff for all the drivers. However, I don't think the driver order has changed at all. It's still going to be Arrow. This may just be the first win for the side of Team Alpha. And as we can hear, Bloodline as well. Yeah, he is not satisfied with what just happened there. He was talking about the braking. He was talking about the car's performance. Oh, Arrow's still in the lead. Armpar trying his best, going through the barriers. It's going to be a bit of a leftish turn. And we are nearing the 90% progress right now. So it is going to be the final stage of the race. I do not think Ampa will be able to win. So that means we have a new winner for the first time.
Yeah, Arrow, he's gotten the lead pretty early on, and that's all he needed. Proves to be ahead at the very beginning. Ampower comes P2, but it's Arrow from Team Alpha. It's his first win here at Streamer Quest Forza Horizon 5. Bloodline finishes P3. I think he's a bit annoyed, and right alongside him, someone ended up finishing as well. I wonder if it's SMX.
It was SMX indeed. And now, yeah, taking a look at SMX gameplay as well, he was just about to overtake. But as soon as that, we had the finish line. So Bloodline managed to keep third position. His worst performance overall for Bloodline. No, there was another instance where he was third. So, yeah, sorry. Still, in another way, the worst performance he's had. SMX P4, I mean, yeah, for Team Bravo, not the best, but it was a bit worse for Team Charlie as well, with Bloodline being down in the ditches. For Team Alpha, though, amazing stuff. And this is what I was talking about. This was a track with a lot of runoff area. In the grass as well, you had the trees. And this just meant that the person who had the advantage, he kept it. And that was Arrow. And because of that very reason, yeah, tracks which have runoff area, you need to get a good start, is what we have learned so far.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed the way Arrow was able to be calm and composed in the
Yeah.
lead. In the lead for the first time. We saw Evil. Perhaps he had an opportunity there with all the cars in between him and Arrow wiping out in that particular corner, which we saw. An opportunity missed, unfortunately, but hopefully he came home with a couple of points. That's going to come for so much more. It's that P2 position overall, what Team Alpha is hoping for right now. Neither Team Brown or Charlie got that race win, so they played their part there, but did both drivers get points is what counts now.
Absolutely. That's going to be a major point for contention right now. Yeah, Evil to meme. They've got to make sure they do end up getting points. And overall, yeah, for Bloodline, really unfortunate. And so far, yeah, it's that's the thing. Either Bloodline is like undefeated or he faces a lot of trouble. And taking a look at the highlights as well, this was one of the instances where singular mistake at the start just meant that he was not able to, by any margin, get back to the lead. He had the chance. We had the checkpoint fiasco right there, where everyone missed the checkpoint, everyone overshot the corner. But then
Oh,
again, yeah, this was just too much throttle, a little too much right there. Had to take control. Everyone fell into the same hole. And then you had Bloodline as well, who realized his mistake and had to go for the rewind.
oh, this was awfully close between Arm Power and Arrow. I think this was a brief moment where he could have, made a difference, but Arrow held on to that race lead perfectly and brought home that win for Team Alpha. Brilliant stuff by Arrow. Credit where credit is due, and hopefully he can get the next race win too. That's going to count for so much more in the overall standings. But right now, everything's going in favor of Team Bravo, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got to agree that so far for the side of Team Bravo, things are looking good. They're getting the performances and the mindset of the players as well. It's still relatively fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ampa would have been a bit annoyed. He wasn't able to overtake the likes of Arrow right there. But still, Potato, he is at the moment the best driver in terms of the individual points, and his team is the leading team. And taking a look at the current standings as well, I think I'll be able to reinforce that fact with numbers. Yes, it's going to be a 22-point advantage for the side of Team Bravo right now over their nearest competitor. That's going to be Team Charlie. Thamim, once more, not able to finish. Unfortunate for his side. And for the side of Team Alpha, them getting 12 points, huge advantage because now, honestly, Zatak, I believe that Team Alpha, they may be able to overtake Charlie if things pan out in their favor.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. Considering both of their members are finishing and receiving points,
Yep.
so if by a thin line of say chance itself, Bloodline happens to finish below the top three positions, that is opportunity Team Alpha, and as long as both their members are finishing in the points, receive points, that's all that counts for, and they can get that P2 offshore. But right now, it seems like Team Bravo have run away with it already.
Perhaps, perhaps. Overall, in the driver standings as well, you have Arm Power over Bloodline by that was a single point. So before race number 6, it was a Bloodline leading by a single point. Now it's gonna be, it's gonna be Arm Power. We have seen so many. Well, we have seen one instance where heading into the final race, the drivers being equal on points, 369 and a half last year. Now in this case, it's a single point differentiating them. And going into race number 7, pretty interesting who's going to get this driver title for the day. But overall, it's going to be all about the teams. But the thing is, in the teams, it's not really an interesting point no more. Team Bravo, I don't think there are a lot of ways that they can lose out on this lead, at least today. Tomorrow may be something that happens, but so far, as long as today is concerned, Team Bravo undisputedly overall best performance by the pair.
Yep. For day one, at least Team Bravo mathematically, they've done everything right. I think a
Exactly.
few fumbles, if they can discount that tomorrow, 100% they're set for a brilliant Forza Horizon 5 result. That's for sure.
Hmm.
I think over at Team Charlie, Bloodline and Tamim hopefully can have a word, share a bit of ideas with each other, really enhance the very need to ensure that Tamim finishes in and receives points. That's going to count for so much more. Team Alpha shouldn't be that close if you think about it, but they are. And Team Alpha played their cards right. Hopefully in race 7, they play their cards right even more so, ensuring that P2. But we'll find out. It's the last race of day 1 of the Streamer Quest Forza Horizon 5. And I'm on the edge of my seat just like I was for race 1.
Absolutely. I believe this is going to be another street circuit like the previous one was. However, let's not wait anymore. Let's jump straight into the 7th race. And yeah, from the looks of it, it looks something like that. And once more, for the time being, collision is off. Bloodline way out ahead in first. I hope we can. I mean, we aren't going to be able to see the minimap from his perspective since his camera covers it. But right now, once more with this car, aerodynamics going to play a big factor. The streamlined nature is going to play a big factor. You've got Team Bravo right here. Oh, this can be another, team play. They can gang up on him if they would like, just like a couple of the previous races. Ampa actually going down the inside. It's going to be wheel-to-wheel action. He overshoots the corner. He crashes in, and
No.
Bloodline manages to escape.
Oh, he overestimated his chances there. Aye, aye, aye. They didn't play the team game, but they tried to go solo up against Bloodline, and it's played into his favor. He's got clear air, SMX behind, who's possibly got a huge gap to make up for, and Bloodline's got clear air, possibly a win coming up.
May just, yeah.
Yeah, to think these cars are as light as it gets. So clearly getting thrown off track is not something you want. Thrown off the asphalt is clearly not something you want. Collisions off right there. SMX missed a nasty scenario, but he is in P2. Clearly the gap is not too large, so he can close in on Bloodline as he locks up and sends it a bit over the grass, but he's got his teammate right alongside him. It's Team Bravo against Bloodline, both going up against him. SMX goes onto the grass, Arm Power going wheel to wheel with Bloodline, takes the race lead, and there's a fumble, and I don't know what's happened.
Yeah, once more. I believe that was a replay of what we were just seeing. We were just seeing by, on the point of view from the side of Ampa as well. It was the same corner, but yeah, both the members of Team Bravo crashing out, as a matter of fact. That was the thing. Now, Bloodline, I don't.
And just like that, SMX now has a huge task in his hand. He needs to close that gap to Bloodline and probably prohibit him from receiving that win. Mind you, this is a 2-day event, so every race counts. Armpower right behind SMX, trying his best to close in on the two up front. We had 77% progress so far, and SMX might have just given that position, handed that position, in fact, to Armpower. Oh, they decided to go together.
Okay, well, they are going for it. Yeah, I think, hearing Ampa right now, he is telling SMX to just keep it clean. Any one of us can take the lead, and it's going to be Ampa right now. I believe SMX may have handed that to him. But anyways, even if he did, it doesn't matter too much. What matters is they have to go for Bloodline, who is still in the lead. And losing traction entirely. Ampa right there. And once more, Bloodline is going to finish in first place. So he is going to be the winner of today.
Yeah. Travel-wise, definitely he showed what he's capable of. I mentioned this even before today even started, even before race 1 started, but you can see that smile on Armpower's face. Rightfully so. As a team, Team Bravo, they've excelled. They've outdone themselves here today. It was pretty much Team Bravo versus Bloodline. Unfortunately, Tamim couldn't come across the line and score enough points for Team Charlie, costing them that spot on top of the board. But SMX and Amper, what brilliant battles they had with each other, in fact, earlier on. And what a way to play the team game to ensure they're ahead at the end of day 1.
Yep, that's all they cared about. And once more, well, their team really in synergy with each other. Whenever they race together. Whenever they screw up, well, it's gonna be together as well. We had the tree incident right now on the lunch tables as well, the picnic tables, I'm not really sure. But well, they were destroyed at the end of the day. And so were the hopes of the likes of Team Charlie and Team Alpha trying to win, as Team Bravo very comfortably took the dub overall in the constructors for their side. Excellent performance from them. And yeah, just great stuff. I think both the streamers will be extremely happy with themselves and with how they have been playing.
Yeah, I expected Team Alpha coming up in the top 3 at least this race, having seen Arrow's performance in race number 6. I'd hoped for it, but unfortunately it didn't go their way. But definitely a good points haul nonetheless. Both members finishing in more races than Tamim did, which would have counted for so much more for Team Charlie. Unfortunately, hopefully, like I mentioned before, Bloodline and Tamim sit down, exchange a bit of ideas with each other, and perhaps comes back on day 2, fighting for that top spot.
Absolutely, they have to. I mean, they've got to make sure they keep on fighting. And because of that, because you only have one more day remaining, 50% of the overall Forza Horizon 5 event is done. Another 50% remains. Taking a look at race number 7, more specifically, a lot of highlights right here. You had a lot of mishaps happening, especially with a car like this, where you need the traction to be there, where you need control more than anything to favor you, and lockups being quite common as well. Yeah, this was a track which was very, very crucial to take the win on and be the better driver on.
Yeah, maybe if Ampower managed to keep it on the asphalt there in that previous clip we saw, he could have come home a winner in the race number 7. But yeah, Bloodline played it pretty well and managed to finish. Yeah, that's the thing with Bloodline. Get clear air, and he's pretty much sorted, if you could say in a lighter note, that for a race win. So I think objective for Team Bravo and Team Alpha going into day 2 to make, if Bloodline does return, is to ensure that he doesn't get clean air.
Yep. So overall, I'd say amazing day so far. What a day we had of Forza. And taking a look at the overall standings as well, there will be a lot to discuss. In the teams heading into the second day, what their goals are going to be, what they would like to achieve, how can they improve exactly. I mean, for me, I know I'm a broken record, but it's all about breaking. From what we have seen with these streamers, it's all about who can break better, especially not just in the street circuits where you have runoff area, but like the earlier circuits that we were seeing, where there were a lot of those restrictive walls, you have to make sure you don't crash in because the time lost is really a lot. However, there were a lot of lost points as well, but the team that managed to salvage the most, well, let's have a look onto them as we move on forward to the overall standings of today. It's going to be 82 points to the side of Team Bravo, 58 for Charlie, and 38 for Team Alpha.
Yeah, unfortunately, Team Alpha couldn't have both their members finish in race number 7. So that is, I believe, 3 races where not both drivers ended up finishing. So they'll be looking forward to work on that a bit ahead of day 2. But look at Team Bravo. I mean, points wise, both drivers finishing every race apart from race number 3. With Team Charlie, it's pretty straightforward where work needs to be done. It's the meme. He needs to step up,
Yep.
start scoring points for the team. Bloodline's doing impeccably well. He's finished in the top 3 every race, just like Arm Power did. But Arm Power, he's never been out of the top 2 in any race.
That's the thing. However, though, for the side of Bloodline, he has more wins. He has 4 wins out of the 7 matches, out of the 7 races, sorry. And he leads, I think, the Drivers' Championship by a single point. So he is, or maybe 2, but he is the winner right now. He has 57 points. Meanwhile, according to my calculations, I believe Ampa had 56, 55. I'm not that much into maths. Anyways, the point being, Bloodline, he was individually the best performing driver of today. But overall, Team Charlie, they were only the second best team. And yeah, it's a two-man job. Sameem, lot of pressure onto him. Hopefully today he grinds out Forza Horizon Online a bit more, even the story mode. He goes back to it. He keeps on completing the races, and then he has a more successful day number 2 because his team really needs him. And by his team, I don't just mean Bloodline. I 8 streamers that are out there in Team Charlie who are all looking for the 5 lakh rupee cash pool.
Yep. And yeah, we can't iterate this enough time after time.
Mhm.
Team Charlie, they need Tamim to step up.
Yep,
And hopefully in day 2, we get to see a completely different Team Alpha and a completely different Team Charlie, even. Seeing Tamim coming out and scoring race wins is something we'd love to see. I'm pretty sure the audience agree with us as well on that front. But definitely Team Bravo want to maintain the kind of race pace and racing style, overall teamwork. They couldn't have played it better in any one of these races. Perhaps SMX could
yep,
have finished that one race where he didn't, but I believe it's because of something beyond his control. So definitely
exactly.
team wise, they're playing it by the book, and more so strategically, they're holding up Bloodline wherever necessary.
Yep. So far for all the viewers as well, having a look at what has happened so far in the AMD streamer quest, we have had Among Us, Golf, Halo, and our first day of Forza Horizon is done. Tomorrow, we have our second day of Forza Horizon 5 as well, followed up by Overcooked 2, then Sea of Thieves on the same week, Minecraft to end the week, and then we will have the winners reveal very, very soon. We have around 10 days remaining here at the streamer quest, and very soon we will see is it going to be Team Alpha, Bravo, or Charlie who will be taking the win. But as of now, it is Team Bravo really in the advantage right now. Things are on the up and up for them. Golf went their way, Halo went their way. Age of Empires, okay, yeah, that was not the best of games for their side, but Forza also looking to go the way of Team Bravo. So far, they are doing an amazing job at performing, and they are doing an amazing job of the streamers, performing individually as well with every single game that has been provided to them. And I have to say, moving on for tomorrow, I'm really excited for Forza Horizon 5. And I'm really excited to see which of these streamers they're going to improve as well. But overall, I enjoyed watching the streamers. I'm going to get Xbox Game Pass as well, get Forza Horizon 5 along hundreds of other games. I'll try and make sure I get a laptop with an AMD Ryzen 5000 processor so that I can get Xbox Game Pass for free and get the best experience by going down in the description. And so should all of you as well. If you enjoyed Forza Horizon 5, trust me, you will enjoy a lot other games out there. Plenty of racing games and plenty of other genre games as well, over hundreds. But so far, make sure you are subscribed to the Esports Club. Tomorrow we have another set of these games. We have more matches. We have more tournaments as well, other than the Streamer Quest. But for today, for now, it's been me, CCV, alongside Zetaxter. We'll be signing off and we'll see you tomorrow at the same time. So take care. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow, folks. Cheers.
You're always on your game during work time. Now, take the work out of game time. And creating your best edit requires time to make the right cuts. So, we help cut render times. Get the processing power to do it all. Join the gamers and creators who know the pure speed of AMD Ryzen processors. Those who know performance know AMD Ryzen.